Few things before we start the trainings. As all of you are aware, frameworks is evolving, and even the documents will also keep evolving. And so they are all living documents, so they are subjected to change. Um, and because of that, the framework models that we use in this course may slightly differ from the current models. And generally, there will be a one version lag with the course, minimum one version lag. And the current version that we have been using for the training is 23.5, while the current version for frameworks is 24. Okay, so that different delay will be there in bringing those changes into the frame training material. And then the images and descriptions of the frameworks which are used are uh, correct with reference to the time frame when the training material was prepared. Okay. So with that, anyway, so introduction we have done. So with reference to some of the housekeeping, what I would request is please have your webcam on whenever possible. So I will so that we can continue with our this one, and I can understand if you have some challenges in understanding of the solution. Sorry, training this one. So then please mute your mic and until if you have any question. But do not hesitate asking any questions. During the training, please stop me if you have any questions and ask those questions. Maybe if you want, you can even send a chat message as a question. And then you can even unmute yourself and then ask me to stop and ask the question. So feel free. Okay. And my suggestion is that more the interactions, you will have a better learning and better understanding of the course. Okay, so request you to be more and more interactive, and let's make the sessions lively and get more out of it. Okay, and then yeah, okay. Question and answers anyway have discussed. Okay, and then we will also have certain breaks. Tea breaks every day, and we will also have certain exercises wherein I will be dividing the group into smaller breakout rooms, and you will be working on those exercises yourself, and maybe we will combine the exercise and coffee break together as a working break kind of a thing, or a working tea break kind of thing. So with which you can continue to work on the exercises and take it forward. Okay. And at the end of the session, you will all get a feedback survey link. Request you to uh, fill that. But my suggestion is that um, do not wait till the end of the course. If you feel some things need to be changed during the training, like my style of training, or maybe my accent, or if I have to go slow or fast, whatever it is. So you let me know uh, as early as possible so that I can fine tune myself accordingly, and you will have a better learning. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. And just give me a minute. Someone is waiting in the lobby. Okay, yeah. With that, okay. So let's move on. Okay. Um, this is what I wanted to do as introduction. Anyway, we'll move ahead. And as part of this course, um, there are certain learning objectives which we intend to achieve. Okay. So one of the key thing is that understand the information framework, and adoption of that framework or implementation of the information framework into our day-to-day activities. Okay. Maybe as part of digital transformation or any other transformation projects. How do we actually plan to use this information framework, and how can we transition to the framework? Okay. See, uh, definitely we will be having the information in some form or the other. We will have the applications running, applications carrying the information, but it may not be very well defined and structured uh, with reference to the industry standards like information framework. So that is where we need to understand how do we adapt the standard information framework into our organization and our uh, architecture. And also, while doing that, if there is a need to extend the information framework, so we should be able to do that. And I'm sure all of you have gone through the modeling patterns, five different modeling patterns as part of the fundamentals course. So we will be going through those modeling patterns again, and we have an exercise where you would be required to apply those modeling patterns for a given scenario. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we have with reference to the learning objectives. And then this course is divided into 6 modules. So the first module is we will start with the pre-course exercise and a framework overview. We will look at how the framework is structured, what are its key concepts, all that part. And then the second module is on implementing the information framework. And in the third module, we will go through those 5 modeling patterns, and also we will look at how do we apply those modeling patterns. Okay. And after that, in the fourth module, we will see if I need to implement the framework into my environment, what changes that I need to do within the framework. It's not necessary that the framework will fit in directly into my environment, and there may be a need for making certain changes to the framework itself. And so what are the allowed extensions we can do, and how can we do the extension is what we will look at in the fourth module. Then uh, when we apply this and how do we transform to the framework model, is what we'll be looking at in the fifth module. And what are the different uses of the framework, information framework, and how do we put it to use is what will be covered in the sixth module. So all of this we will be covering in these 4 days of half a day sessions. Okay. And at the end of the course, you will all be enrolled for exams, for a practitioner's course exams. One of the prerequisite for this uh, practitioner's course exam is that you should have completed the fundamentals certification and attended fully this practitioner's course training, which means on all 4 days, 4 half-day sessions, if you attend, and then if you have completed the fundamentals certification, then you will be eligible and enrolled for the practitioner's exam. And once you clear that exam, you will get a different certification. Okay. So my suggestion is that do not worry about the certification. Uh, Focus on the learnings, and certification exam becomes much easier if we understand the concepts well. Okay. Yeah. With that, let's actually move on to the contents part, the course contents. Okay. So as I said, we will start the course with a something like a pre-course exercise, which is like uh, to understand how much you all are familiar with the framework and how do we take it forward. Okay, so now once you complete this exercise, I will get to know your understanding level of the framework, and if required, I will uh, go back and start with the some of the concepts and little more in detail if required. Otherwise, we can move fast. So this exercise gives me a clarity on that front. So that's why we will run this exercise first, and then we will take it forward. Okay. Yeah. As part of this exercise, you are expected to demonstrate your knowledge on the information framework. Okay. And then we will move on to the next 2 steps. So the pre-course exercise is given. All of you have downloaded the study materials. So as part of the study material, there are two documents shared. One is the training material, which is a copy of the slides that I will be covering. And second one is this exercise document. So in which there are certain scenarios that have been given uh, to apply the uh, knowledge onto those scenarios. So as part of this first pre-course exercise, you are requested to respond to these questions. So there are few questions like define an entity, ABE, and domain, all of this. So answer all these 4 questions. Okay, all these 4 questions. And then you have this blank information framework with the domains names on that. So you are requested to write the L1 ABEs, as many as possible, into this framework in each of the domains. Okay, so that is what is expected as part of this exercise. Um, okay, let me put it this way. This exercise alone, you will do it independently. Okay, each one of you answer these questions and try to populate that uh, framework diagram. So we will have now total we have 30 minutes for this exercise. I would say you can take about 15 minutes for answering these questions and populating this, right? You can all do it individually, and then we can start discussing on this. Is that okay? Hello?
Yeah, okay. Okay, teacher.
Okay. Yeah, fine. So each one of you, please work on this independently and individually. So you have the answers ready. We will have 15 minutes time. So 9:15 we will start discussing this.
Okay, understand.
I'm here only. If you have any questions, you can ping me anytime. So I will provide you the guidance.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see.
Yes. Uh, Please let me answer to first question or one question first.
Okay.
The file modeling pattern is as in my screen on the previous document.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So
The entire specification and entire it
okay.
consists atomic anti-role and business interaction characteristics and specification characteristic value. That is
Okay. Five modeling patterns.
my model. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. And the next question, I think you have answered that also. Remote domains.
Next one or me. Next another people answer or me. I will answer. Next question.
Yeah, maybe you can answer. No problem. The next question you can answer.
Yes, that's that. It also in the previous document. It is eight.
Mhm.
Domain of information framework is common market and sell customers product service resource business partner and enterprise.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Now maybe someone else can answer the other questions. Okay. Let's go back to the same this one. So we request you to share the screen again. Uh, and you had answered two questions. maybe we'll look at other questions also. Can you please share the first one again? The one who had shared earlier.
Share again my document.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, okay. Yes, you can see the document.
Okay, yeah, please go to the next question, next
Next
part.
question.
So these are the only two questions you have answered, is it?
Uh, no, no. I'm do the next question.
Okay,
There's a difference between product, service, and resource
okay, okay,
domain. Uh, wait me minute. For
Hello,
the à, Ngọc Ngọc trả lời đi Ngọc ơi.
everyone. See, um, myself, um, I feel layer 2 ABB for 7 domain.
okay, okay, okay. So I've
Thì đến
seen
giờ Ngọc ơi, Ngọc trả lời đi.
Đấy, ờ, cái bài của em là em điền một số các thông tin rồi ạ.
Ý nãy em bạn đọc với thầy giáo thì thầy giáo biết em trả lời như nào ấy.
okay, fine. I can see at least some work that has been done, and most of you are fairly aware of this information framework and structure. And I've also seen some response on the chat window. And yeah, so I can see that even the definition of product, service, and resource domains are provided here. Um, and you have also made an attempt to at least write some ABs within the domains. Okay. I think that's fine. Now we can get back to the slides and start looking at the contents of the, I mean, next section of this part. Okay.
Okay.
Um, let's proceed. And so these were the questions which were basically there. Oh, okay, hold on. Can you stop sharing your screen so that I will start sharing now? Yeah. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. So these were some of the questions that we tried looking at, basically to uh, check what is your current level of understanding. Um, looks to be a fairly good level of understanding, but we definitely need to clarify certain things before we move forward. Um, so we will do that as part of the next set of slides. Okay. So what we will do is we'll start with a quick review of the information framework, which was uh, uh, one of the objective of the pre-course exercise. And I'm sure you would have got some things recalled related to the framework. Now, what I would like to do is start with the high level. understanding. Um, See, if you notice here, we have the Open Digital Framework or ODF that's being displayed here, right? And you have gone through the ODF, which consists of multiple things like process framework, information framework, functional frameworks, open APIs, all of that. Okay, within that, as part of the information systems, we have information framework, which is highlighted in a red color here, as you notice. And it is also called SID, SID. Uh, what is the expansion of SID or SID? Anyone? Do you know the expansion of SID? No? Maybe you can even write it on the chat window. Okay. SID or SID actually means the expansion is shared information and data model. Okay. So shared information and data model, which is the old name of the information framework. Okay. And I'm sure as part of the ODF course, you would have seen the evolution of the frameworks, right? All the frameworks, what was the earlier name, uh, how the names got changed and how what are the new things that have been included in the new names and this one, right? So the information framework was known as SID or SID earlier, and it's popular even today as SID in many cases. Many of the people still use it as SID or SID. Okay. Similarly, the ETOM for the business process framework. Okay. Okay. Now focusing on coming back onto the information framework. Uh, so basically, the information framework provides a structured model for the information that we use. Okay. I would say this provides a kind of standard definitions, standard language for information that to be used within the organization. Okay. We have gone through the process framework where we have seen how the process are defined. Okay. So processes basically define the activities that uh, we carry out as part of our business, right? Like and simple example would be uh, customer problem handling. So here we are carrying out an action or activity of resolving the customer problem, right? So this is the process or activity, but we have a very close relationship between the process framework and the information framework. Okay. Uh, and that is like if you take this example of customer problem handling, for carrying out this activity, we definitely need to have the information about customer problem. In the first place, we should have a customer problem, a ticket created, right? And from then, we will start working on that customer problem, identifying the cause of the problem, resolving the problem, and then updating the customer that the problem is resolved. So if you notice, all these activities are revolving around the customer problem as information. So when we need to carry out any activity, it requires certain information. And that information is what we define and structure as part of the information framework. And that's what we see here as the information framework. And since there is a very close relationship between the process framework and the information framework, they are all aligned with the same domains. So the domain structure remains the same in both process framework and information framework. Okay, so that's how we look at the information as, and the information framework is defined. Now let us take a look at this information framework a little more in detail. Okay, so to start with, how is the information framework structured? Okay, so these basically, if you look at these questions, um, the questions listed here are very common questions that we need to understand the information framework. If we answer these questions, then it will explain what the framework is, what the information framework is. Okay. So to start with, the information framework is an enterprise-wide information structured or information decomposed, and it's a model. Okay, and this information framework structure is very rich, but definitely based on the rules that are easy to understand, that we will see as we go forward. Okay, and this information framework model and the decomposition, all that we will discuss in the later section. Okay, but in general, if you ask or if you try to answer, how is it answered? It is a hierarchical structure organized in terms of domains and ABEs. Okay, by the way, I hope all of you are aware, ABE means aggregate business entity. Okay, we will see the details as we go forward again. Okay, so this is how the information framework is structured. And then what are its origins? Where did this information framework come from? Or uh, was this framework defined completely from scratch by the TM forum? No, it was not defined completely from scratch by the forum. There were some developments which were done, or there were some definitions related to the information framework, like ITU-T, that's the International Telecommunications Union, telecom section part of it, had defined something called M3100, M3100. Okay, that was one of the source, and there was also one more definition which was there as uh, common information model, or SIM, and this was defined by Distributed Management Task Force. or DMTF, and these two have been taken as a source to start with, and then the information framework has been developed to meet the telecom industry requirements, and also to align with the other frameworks like business process framework, application framework, all of this. Okay. And moving on to the next question, why have an information model? Why do we need that? Yeah. See, basically, we need some standard way of structuring all this information, defining them, and also uh, uh, defining the behavior of this information in a consistent way, and so to provide a common terminology. Right? We will come to this with reference to terminology. As we go forward, we will understand it more in detail. Uh, so, simple example for that is a customer. How do we define a customer? Right? Many people call them as customers. Some people call them as consumers. So, what is the difference between a consumer and customer? And many such questions would be there if we do not define a common terminology. So that is one of the objective of the information model. Okay. And then what does the information model include? So it is a data model actually. Uh, Sorry, this is an information model, not the data model. I hope you all aware of the difference between information model and data model. Are you all aware? If not, I will try to explain that sometime later, not right now. But let me know if you are aware of the difference. Okay. Now it is an information model which includes the information or ABE, which is what is an ABE? Anything of interest for business is called an entity. Okay, so aggregate business entity is ABE. Okay, so this information framework uh, consists of a typical object-oriented model concepts. So object-oriented programming concepts are the basis for definition of the information model. Okay, and as part of that, when you talk about an object, it is nothing but some information which is of interest. Okay, and definitely these objects will also have a relationship between them called associations. So they are also defined as part of the information framework. And a starting set of, I would say, the attributes of these information. Okay, so characteristics of this information is defined. Okay, now typically, if you look at object-oriented programming, there will be one additional thing which would be defined, which is behavior. Okay, so now information framework does not define the behavior. It only defines the entities, relationship between these entities, and then the attributes of these entities. Okay, so that is what is defined, and behavior is not defined in the information framework. Behavior is all defined as part of open APIs. Okay, So open APIs will define the behavior of these entities defined here. Okay. So then the last question that comes up is it a standard? Yes, it is a de facto standard because of its use across the world, and many people use them. And even this definition has been recognized as an official standard by ITUT as of July 2008. Okay, so that's what we have here. And yeah, now for having any in framework or any definitions of such standards, there needs to be certain objectives. Okay, so what are the objectives for having an information framework or goals that we will be able to achieve? It's basically to reduce the time to market. Okay, whenever we need to introduce a new product or any new technologies, normally it takes a very long time in a telco or telecom industry. So now, how do we reduce that time to market is what we look at as part of the information framework. When we have a standard set of definitions for the information and the associations between them, when any changes need to be done, becomes minimal. Okay, and so that's when we will be able to uh, reduce the time to market. Okay, and any of the applications that would be supporting these information, if they are also aligned with the standard frameworks, the changes would be minimal, and even the user interface or the open APIs changes would become minimal as we would be dealing with the standard set of information. Okay, so that's one part. And of course, reducing the cost of integration is another thing, as we will have all the applications talking to each other with the same language, common dictionary. So you don't need to worry about the integration part or translation of information from one application to another application that can be minimized. And so cost of integration would be reduced. Okay. And using the same model, we can implement multiple business functions, and it can be used for the existing or the new implementations also. It could be a greenfield or a brownfield implementation. Okay, so that's something. And then reducing the management time and cost. So obviously these are the benefits that we get with any of the standards. Okay. Then moving on, some of the key concepts of the uh, framework. Okay. Um, so we had actually, as part of the pre-course exercise, there were certain questions, and you had answered some of them. So it basically revolves around the three structuring concepts or key concepts, which are nothing but domains, and then aggregated business entities and business entities. Okay, so these are the three concepts, uh, and yeah, so we will get into the domains and all of these concepts in detail uh, as we go forward. Okay, but Uh, why should we have this information framework? The good reasons for them are mentioned here. It helps us to structure the information framework uh, and also the information model. And of course, when we structure them in a proper way, you can easily find the required information that will be uh, managed by the processes. Okay, so that's what we look at it as. And then, okay, now let's take a look at each of these concepts. Okay, starting with the domains. Yes, there was a question and you had answered these questions with reference to the domains, right? So we are starting with the concepts of domains first. So there are 8 domains defined as part of the information framework. To start with, what is a domain? How do we define a domain in the frameworks? Okay, so domain is nothing but a specific management area or a key management area, which means if I'm talking about market sales, it will be related to all the information that we define here will be related to either marketing or sales part of it. And it supports the sales and marketing applications which are required to for the business uh, goals to be achieved or to obtain the business from customers uh, and signing the or the sales contracts and the leads or prospects and things like that. Okay, or it includes something like market strategy and plans or market segments, competitors, and stuff like that. Okay, and that's what we define in market sales. And if you look at customer as a domain, another example, this represents uh, a customer. Now, a customer may be an individual or an organization, okay, who actually buy the products from us, right? So it represents all types of customer and their contacts and management of the relationship with the customer and the bills for the products, collection of payment from the customer, or if any of the bills are overdue, how do we actually deal with that? All of this is what is defined as part of the customer domain. So now if you notice, there is a very clear demarcation between the domains. So we don't mix up with reference to market sales and the customer, although whatever marketing or marketing strategy we define would be based on the customer segment, but they are very, very clearly differentiated and defined with reference to the information. Okay. This product, service, and resource part, I will discuss little later. Even in the previous course, I had discussed separately because we need to have that clarity. It might be a repetition for those who attended the last process framework course, but it is important for all others also to have the same understanding. So we will discuss it and we will also take it further with reference to the information framework. So we will get to that a little later. Then, as we are doing any business, we would definitely have certain partnership for doing the business with others. Like maybe we will buy certain things, certain, let's say, network infrastructure from the people who can supply that or vendors. And then maybe we will have some partnership with value-added services, right? Or even maybe other telecom service providers who are providing the off-net service calls and stuff like that. So all of them are defined as business partners, and anything to do with that uh, partners is what is defined in the business partner domain. Then moving on to the enterprise domain, we will have certain things which are common across the organization, which will be applicable for the entire organization, like say human resource management or financials management or procurement or even facilities management. Excuse me. So there are many such things which are common across the organization, and such things are all defined under enterprise domain. Okay. Then we have something called common domain. So in this common domain, if we have certain information defined in multiple domains, let's say, let me see if I can go to that. Okay, we'll come back. I'll come back to this. Let me see if I have this. Yeah. If you can see the right side part here, we have, let's say, some of the examples that we can look at is maybe here, service configuration, right? And then we have product configuration, right? And we will also have a resource configuration. So now, if you notice, this configuration as ABE is present in multiple domains, but not in all domains. Okay, I will not have something to do with the configuration in market sales domain. I will not have that in the enterprise domain. So in such scenario, what we do is, which are some ABEs which are present in one or more domains, then we will bring them into the common domain, and we will define them in the common domain. Okay. So one question, like if you notice here, yeah, configuration is common ABE that's defined. So now the question that comes up is, I already have a kind of a three different ABEs defined here. Am I not duplicating it once again by defining a common domain? I mean, that ABE in the common domain again. So am I getting any benefits out of it by defining it in common domain? Is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Yeah, any thoughts on that? Are we not duplicating it, creating one more uh, entity in the common domain, which may increase the complexity instead of reducing or bringing the simplicity? So what are your thoughts on that? Anyone? No thoughts? Okay, let me just briefly explain this. Um, are you all aware of the all the concepts of the object-oriented programming, where we'll have a parent-child relationship between the objects defined or classes, a parent class and a child class. Are you all aware of that? Fine. So now we have this concept of a parent class and a child class. So basically what happens is what we define in the common domain that we see here will be a parent class, and then we'll start defining the child class here like resource configuration. So the parent class will have all the common attributes defined, all the attributes used by resource configuration, service configuration, product configuration, right? All of those attributes that are required for all three of them will be defined in the parent class, which will be your common domain configuration ABE. Okay, and all these, the resource, service, and product configuration will all be defined as the child class, with which we have this concept of inheritance, right? So we inherit these attributes from the parent class of a configuration defined in the common domain into the child classes of this. Okay, so that is the benefit that we get by defining the ABs in common domain. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we have here. And then we were actually discussing the common domain here. Yeah, so that is done, right? So we have covered all the domains except these three, which we will discuss in little more details now. Now it's about okay. So we need to have this clarity of the differentiation between a product, service, and resource domains. Okay. So what is a product, or what is the difference between a product and a service? Okay. So product is something which we define and we what a customer gets basically, right? And service is something what we as a telecom service provider define and then provide to the customers. So now, with reference to the definition, a voice service is something which we provide to the customers, right? Or a data service. And that's why we are all called service providers, right? So now, then what is a product? What is the difference between a product and a service? Can someone try to give this difference between product and a service? Anyone? Or some examples of, yeah, products are what is sold to the customers. Yes. Services are functional capabilities delivered to the customers. Yes, that's right. Okay, so that's a good differentiation between a product and service. And that's why we have two separate domains defined here. Okay, and there is also a relationship with the resource for providing the services. For any service to be provided, those services will be provided on resources or the infrastructure, maybe network infrastructure or application itself as infrastructure, maybe like CRM as an application that is also considered as a resource, right? So on top of these resources, we provide the services. Okay. Now, can a resource be a product? Any thoughts on this? Anyone? Okay, I'm seeing answer as yes. Any examples? Examples of resource being a product? Can we look at um, mobile handset when it is sold independently? Can it be considered as a resource which is becoming a product? Right, handset is a resource basically. And when we start selling it separately, that becomes a product. Right? Or when we have a, I would say, a combined product with the services. So we many times we provide these offers, right? As part of this offer, you will get these services and you will get this mobile handset with the EMI option or some things like that. We keep selling it. So in that case also, a mobile handset, which is a resource, becomes a product. Another good example would be if you look at broadband as a service, uh, a modem or a customer premises equipment, CPE, is a resource. Many times service providers sell them separately to the customers. Then that is also a resource which is being sold as a or can be categorized as a product. Okay, so this is how we look at the relationship between a product, service, and resource domains. Okay, so let us go a little more in detail on this to understand this better with some more examples and so which will help us to get a clarity. And it is important for us to have this clarity even from a information framework point of view. Okay, so from that perspective, if you look at it, um, the product domain can be classified into two parts. Okay, so one is as we all discussed now, what we sell to customers is a product, right? So what can be ordered commercially is a product. And what can be ordered functionally, uh, in the sense, I would say the one which will provide the functional details of a product is also there as part of the product domain. So there are two aspects to the products, commercial definition and a functional definition, right? Um, that's how we will be looking at it now. Similarly, when it comes to the service domain, we have two different functions. So what is available functionally, or two different definitions rather. What is functionally available and what are the technical solutions that are available? Okay, so that is how we will be looking at it. So two different things, right? And with reference to service domain, I'm sure you would have heard the terms like CFS and RFS. CFS is this top layer, which is customer facing service, which will be taken to the product domain and then what will be provided to the customers. And what we do internally within our organization to make this service available or a technical solution to make this service active, all of that is what is resource facing service. Okay, so and typically whatever we implement in a resource based this one, what would be technically implemented is what will be defined in the resource domain. Okay, so this is how we see them. Um, we will go a little more in detail to understand this better, because I see I'm spending a little more time on this because it's very important to get this clarity for this course and also for the Open APIs course as we go forward. That's why let's spend some time on this to get the basics right. Okay. So now, as you see here, the product domain, as we define in the information framework, we will have two different types of definitions. One, the top layer, which is marketing view, which is also called product offering. And this is how we define a product uh, offering. So this is the one which we take it to the market, whatever is sold. For example, a plan. When we start looking at a mobility services, a plan of let's say $50 a month, you will get some things, and so that is the product offering. Okay, but this product offering will also provide certain fu functionalities, right? And that is what is defined as part of a functional view, which is nothing but product specification. So this is where we will see the specs of a product and what can be ordered functionally along with this product. Okay, so that is what is defined. So now, other way to look at is when I place an order for this product offering, what are the functionalities that I would get is what is defined here in product specification. So which still with our definition remains in line with our definition of product, what is obtained by or what is what does customer get, right? So that's what is defined here in product specification. Functionally, what does he get, right? Now, how do we get this product specification? Do we define it separately, or is there any dependency on the service here? Yes, definitely there is a dependency, because if you notice here, we are saying what is available functionally and what that can be ordered functionally, right? So that is the relationship here. So functionally, whatever is available is what can be made as something which can be ordered as a product, right? So what we have here in the service domain as customer facing service specification, CFS, becomes a product specification. Can it be exactly the same as what we define in CFS as product specification? Yes, it can be. So product specification can be same as customer facing service specification, but not necessary always it will be same. It could be something different. We will see that in the next slide, how it could be different. Okay. So now we also have what technical solutions that are available as a resource-facing service specs. Now, for this differentiation, what is the difference between CFS and RFS? Okay, a simple example that I would like to give is related to, let's say, the voice service, right? When as a telco, when we provide voice services, it could be of 3G or 4G or maybe even 5G. Okay, but in all these three uh, technologies or generations, we provide voice as a service, right? And to the end customer, what is important is voice as a service, and that becomes a customer facing service. So we define the specification here on what do we provide to the customer, right? But how do I implement it internally within my organization, right? That is what is defining this resource facing service. Now, if my voice service is based on a 3G, then I will have different set of resources, different set of configurations, because as we know, in 3G as a technology, um, circuit switching is the one based on which we will provide the voice services. Whereas if you look at 4G or 5G, voice over LTE, right, that becomes a technology based on which we provide the voice service. So those two are different. Technically, those two are different. How do I implement it? Right? And that is why that becomes a resource facing service. And what I provide to customer as a simple voice service becomes a customer facing service. Okay. And of course, we have resource specification here, and that's how you will see these definitions. And the left side, whatever that you see here, is all the representations we have defined as part of information framework or SID. So all these definitions we have in information framework. Okay, so now I hope you're getting the difference between them and the reason why we differentiate them. Okay, so let's look at an example here. So this gives you much more clarity with reference to the CFS, RFS, and the product domain part, all of that. So if you notice here, we will definitely have certain resources here and resource facing service defined on top of that, which is not shown here. No blocks are shown, but definitely it would be there. And on top of it, you have customer facing service where you have certain different types of services defined. Okay. So one is basically a kind of a product related technical service, and the other one is uh, a manpower based service where an engineer visiting and providing the implementation kind of a service, right? So that's what we have here. Now, in this example, it's a excuse me, sorry. So it's a voice over IP service that can be provided on a broadband, right? So IP voice is a service, broadband is another service which can be provided. Two different services. And that this is what we have as part of customer facing service. Right now, can I define this IP voice as a product specification here? Maybe one to one exactly same. Yes, it can be IP voice as a product specification. Okay. Now, for me to provide this IP voice, I also need a broadband as another service. So we have a broadband service for which I can sell that independently, which is seen here as another product offering. Sorry, product specification, not the product offering. It is a product specification, right? But now this IP voice is dependent on this broadband service or a product specification. So that dependency or relies on is defined here. That is the additional definition that happens in the product specification, which is not here. In the service CFS domain, I am just defining every service individually and independently. And when I'm taking it as a product specification, I also define the dependencies or what are the other services which are related to this. And that is how a product specification happens, because this is what customer gets at the end of the day, right? And in addition to this, if you notice, there is something called IP phone, which is not defined here. Is IP phone defined here in the CFS or in the service domain? No, because this could be just a resource, right? It's a phone, which is a resource, which can be defined here. But I have not defined that here also. Even the broadband router, I have not defined here. Yes, it is required to be defined. But if I am sourcing it from one of the business partner who is supplying this, then I will just define that as a product specification here and get that from them, right? And sell that here. So now this is where the resource becoming a product, that definition helps us, right? But again, all of this are required for me to provide this as a product offering. And so if you notice, some of these product specifications or a service specifications are bundled together and provided as product offering. And that is what we have as a product offering. So if you notice, this product offering is similar to what can be ordered commercially. And that's what we have here in this layer. And product specification, what can be ordered functionally is what is defined here. Hope you're getting the clarity on these definitions. Right? Okay. One thing that I would like to mention here is that product offering need not be bundled always. I can also have a simple single product. Let's say, for example, broadband router. If I am selling it separately, I don't need any of these and there is no dependency. I can just sell this separately. Then that can also be a product offering. But for that, I definitely need to have a specification. What are the functionalities that it can provide? Okay, so that specification would be taken as a product offering. Okay, is this clear or any questions so far? All of you are clear on this? Please respond yes or no at least.
Excuse me, teacher can introduce why energy link physics is on product domain.
Uh, can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I want to ask about the energy link physics is part on product domain and service domain.
Mhm. Product domain and service domain.
They part of engineering physics.
Uh, Both are engineering. That's the question, right? Engineering view. Yes, both are from a engineering point of view or a functional point of view. I would say that more of a functional view, right? And both can be same also. Like whatever I define here as a IP voice as a service, the same specifications or definitions can come over here as a product specification. Okay, but I'm still looking at here as a functional product specification, and I have not attached any kind of a product offering or a commercial aspects to this. Now, when I say commercial aspects, one is the price tag getting attached to that, and the other one is in terms of even limits with reference to that price tag and the demographies, like or some regional one where I would say that this product is made available only in this part of the country, or maybe in if some service providers are across multiple different countries, this product specification can be made available only in this country and things like that. So that all that would be defined in the product offering. Okay. So does that answer your question?
I mean, as I understand, engineering physics it should be on service domain, not on product domain.
Yes, engineering visit is okay. Okay, I understand where you are coming from. Okay. Now there are okay. This is one point which we need to understand with reference to the let's say. Let me go back to this slide. Um, I'll even go back to this one more slide. Okay. Now the definition of a service, right? So when I talk about a service, that is not necessarily uh, the service which are being provided by some people or a manpower. Okay, many a times we have this confusion. Okay, across the globe, the people tend to make this mistake. A service they try to think of whenever we say a service, they will think that okay, service is something which we provide to our customers as a kind of when a people are involved, like engineering visit or implementation service, or when a problem is faced by a customer, we provide a service in resolving that problem. That is one type of service. Okay. But when we look at okay, why are we called service providers? Why all the telecom or telcos are called service providers? We are not providing only those service, right? In fact, those engineering visits, they are all a sub products or a sub services that we provide to the end customers. But the main things that we provide to customer is something like a voice service. That is part of a telecom service or a data service, connectivity service, right? Internet service. Are they not services? Yes, they are, right? And that is where we have two different types of services. One is a technical service, which is related to like what we provide as a internet access or uh, voice service, broadband, or any of that. That is also a service definition. And the second type of a service is that where people are involved. Now, when I have certain things like engineering visit, as we see here, where is it? Yeah, when I see this engineering visit, can I look at this also as a separate product that I can offer and sell it to customers separately? Right? Like say, for example, a broadband service. Now, I can say that, okay, you buy this broadband product, you get voice over IP as a product that we have defined, which will come with a IP phone, broadband router, and broadband connectivity with a FTTP or whatever fiber-based connectivity. All of this will come as part of the product. But I may say that there will be an engineering visit, which I can sell it separately, and for which also there will be a cost attached to that. Can we do that? Or let us look at the other way around, other example. Okay, now with reference to broadband services, one of the common things that happen is address change. Right, when a customer changes his location from one place to another, as part of the address change, does he buy all of this now? Again, he will not, right? He has already bought all of this as part of a product offering, and he has been using them. But now, for his address to be changed, basically these equipment need to be, all these resources related to this need to be shifted from here, from his old location to the new location. And then if certain configurations need to be done, that needs to be carried out. And that is what can be looked at as a service which can be sold separately. Now, will we not charge customer for this address change? We do charge, right? And we also define what can be done, what is done as part of this address change, and for which it may include engineering visit and some of those things. And that is such kind of a services which can be sold as product is what is defined here. Does it make sense?
Yes, understand. That's the special product that
Yes,
the operator can sell to the customer by the engineering uh, work.
right, right. It's a special type of a product. Okay, any other questions? Okay, fine. I've already given the difference between CFS and RFS, with reference to voice as a service and 3G or 4G or 5G as a technology. This one. So that's how we will be looking at it. So now I think we will move forward to the next one. So yeah, this is another example. I will not get into much of a details. Here we look at it from a CFS and RFS point of view. What is the difference? So as an example, a mail service, which is a customer facing service specification, is provided here. And this can be realized as with multiple different types of email solutions, right? So one could be the old one, legacy type of a email service, a new email service, how we can actually implement them, and maybe any other types of a different things. So, but if you notice, they will have a different kind of a specification. But when we sell it to customer as a CFS, we can have the same specification here. But how do I realize them internally is what is defined here in the RFS part. Okay, and the underlying resource infrastructure is defined in a resource domain. Okay, so this is how we will be defining these domains and the information for this part. Okay, with that, now let us take some examples related to the sample products and how do I model them here. Okay, this is a screenshot that I have taken from your Vinaphone website, PNPT Vinaphone website. You're all familiar with this, right? I don't need to say much about this, right? Okay, now the question is, with whatever discussions that we have had so far, can you define what is a product here? What is a product here? And what are the product specifications or service specifications? Anyone? Okay, there was a question related to RFS component. Can you give some examples of RFS? RFS component, okay. Before we go on to this, let me answer this question. There's a question about RFS components. Can you give some examples of RFS components? So if you notice here in the previous example, previous slide, uh, this is what is a RFS example. One type of a email solution with some certain email platforms, maybe the legacy one, and new email function. So for example, if you look at emails like the ones which are based on the old ones, the Microsoft Exchange based kind of a thing, which could be here, one solution. And the other one could be maybe your webmail based Office 365 kind of a solution. So that could be here. And so simple way to look at it is that way. And so each one of them is a separate resource facing service or specification rather. Okay, so that's how we look at it. Hope that is clear. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Yeah, so now moving on to the next slide. Yeah, in this slide, now this is where you need to start thinking and applying the concepts that you have learned to the your environment. Okay, so in this slide, what do you think as a product? So is there something about product offering? Is there something about product specification? And is there something about service specification? Can you look at it and say anything about it in this slide?
This is some product specification, not order.
Okay, yeah. Pro- Product offering. So what is a product offering? As we see, yeah, there is a response given. Uh, Spot V10 or VD120M. Okay, these are the product offerings, right? Yeah. Now product specification. Specification of 5 GB data or 1 GB data is also part of your product specific product offering. Actually, it is all part of your product offering,
Okay.
because what it says is that mm, with this, for this price you get all this, and that is what we call it with this name, or this name basically. This is my product offering with which I provide you all this, right? So that is what we look at as a product offering. Okay. Now, what would be product specification? See, these are the limits basically. 5 GB data is a limit for this price. That's why it is different. But actually speaking, it's the same internet service or a data service that you get as part of the internet here. You get either 5 GB by providing by paying so much, or you get 1 GB by paying so much, or you get 6 GB by paying something like this, right? But when it comes to data and what are the product specifications as part of that, what will you get, what would be defined there will be your product specification. Maybe you can look at this as part of your product specification as a bundled product. See, now what happens here is when I'm offering this as a product offering or as a plan, I'm bundling certain products together here. So one is data as a product, uh, product specification, and free access to Facebook and such things, and also free domestic mobile calls for so many minutes, right? So these are certain product specifications which are bundled together to make this product offering. So I can say this as a product specification. Uh, okay, so that is how we define the product specification, product or offering these things. So that's why I have taken this from your website to give you a clarity of on how do we actually take this forward. Okay, and I'm sure you would have seen certain modeling, complex products and services in ODA as part of the ODF course. You remember this? We have certain things called product offers. 1 second. That you see here. And then we have products, which are nothing but product specifications. Then that's what you see here. Offerings built on the product specifications. And this product specification in turn may have one service specification or maybe multiple service specifications. A combination of them together can become a product specification, and which in turn can be taken as a product offering. And for all of these services, you have underlying resources. So this is the way we look at the PSR domains. Okay. Now again, let's do one more thing. Can we map? Can we map your existing this one with reference to this modeling of ODA? So what is equivalent of this product offering? Anyone? You can also provide your answers on the chat window. So what is equivalent of this? Sorry. Can I say
Can't you see
SPOT V10 or Spot V10 as equivalent to this?
the option product? Look, something service, it is that something this work. Okay.
And all this, what we have here, except the price part. Okay, all this, can I say as product specification? Because that is what I'm defining as part of this offering that you will be getting. So that becomes my product specification.
Okay.
Okay, now you would have also noticed that when we are providing such services, there are certain services which come from which are being provided by us internally, and certain services from our partners. Like say, if you notice here, we have my TV application. I'm not sure whether that is your own product or a partner product. In general, this is how it happens. So this will be another partner who will be providing this service. So how is it in your husband? So this my TV application is one product, is it? Okay, I see that as a one product in the chat window. But many times that would be a separate product from someone else. So then that could be a third party product. Okay, in that scenario, we will have to showcase that. But in any case, before that, if you notice, one of the service can have multiple different services. defined and multiple resources along with that. Okay, so that is one way of implementing it. Other way, this one that I was talking about, let's say if my TV is a from a okay, VTV cap is a partner, is what is mentioned. So if we are getting that from a different partner, VTV cap channel customer here, and that is what would be from an external vendor, or even okay, if you look at it in a simple way, the off-net mobile calls, off-net service providers. So now in this case, all these off-net services will come from another partner or another vendor. So now what from a Vinafone's perspective, I get that as a service from the off-net partners, right? But for them, it's a product offering to me. So they will have all this internal definitions. But for me as a Vinaphone, I would look at it as just a service here, and then I bring it into a product specification and take it as a product offering. Right, so this is how we start modeling such things. And other VTB cap channel cluster or whatever that we are talking about, if that is another vendor again, so that can be looked at as second vendor providing this service. I had thought that my TV could be from a vendor or a partner, but since it is a own product, so let's not look at it as a this one here example. We can look at this as a VTV cap as a this one vendor to providing this. So this is how we can actually start looking at modeling such products and services even in ODA. So, okay, is it making some sense now with reference to the earlier courses that you have gone through on ODA, process framework, information framework, fundamentals, all of that? Now, is this helping you to connect them and then understand how they are actually defined? Hope it is giving you a much more clarity now. And also, how do you apply it to your own products and stuff like that? Okay. So yeah, with that, we have discussed the domains part, right? We have discussed the domains, all 8 domains we have seen, and we have looked into each one of that. And if you look at the background here at the right side part, so within each of these domains, you find certain definitions, I mean, certain boxes. They are the ABEs or aggregate business entities. So that is what you see here. So as a basic structure, if you notice, we have domains at a high level, and then we have ABEs. Okay, there are certain ABEs which are fully defined, which are all white boxes like this. Okay, which can be used as it is straight away. And there are certain ABAs which are not fully developed, like this colored one. Okay, so that is in progress status. And you will also find certain ABs in a light gray color like this or here. Right? They are in a preliminary stage, which means that they have been identified as to be developed, but not much of a work has happened on this. Okay, so that is how we look at it. Okay, and then what else? Yeah, so you have all this customer domain, like a customer product order, as you see, and order handling which basically supports the order handling process in the process framework. And then you have service configuration and activation. Uh, Sorry, this is not a service performance. We should be looking at service configuration as an example here. This one, yeah. Service configuration, which supports the service configuration and activation process. And then you have service performance as another ABE, which supports service quality management as a process. Okay, so if you notice again, we will discuss this in more detail of a relationship between the process framework and the information framework here, but they are very closely related to each other. Okay. And then there is a slide which provides you some information of this classification. So domains in the frameworks are like domains in the apartment, and aggregated business entities are similar to placeholders. And business entities, actually speaking, business entities are also a placeholder. It's not an object directly. Object is something which will be kept inside that placeholder. So, okay, let's not spend much time on this because it may confuse us. But in a simple way, if I have to look at it, from a top-down perspective, I have domains, and within the domains, we have aggregate business entities or ABEs, and then we have business entities, BEs. Okay. And each record within the business entities will be actually the objects. That's how we look at it. Okay. Anyway, so moving forward, we will take a look at a structure of an ABE. Okay. So typically, ABE starts like this, which starts with a business entity. So now if you look at it, we have product offering here as an entity. Okay. Which will also have a related entities like product offering price, offering terms, and product catalog. Right? So this is what we have with reference to product offering. You remember even in your this one here, we have a price point somewhere, which is not seen in this slide. Okay, in the earlier slide it was shown. And you also have certain terms and conditions like, okay, it will be available for 20 minutes or 5 minutes and stuff like that. So those are your product offering. Anyway, price we have seen, product offering terms are there, which says that, okay, this is applicable for 5 minutes or 20 minutes and stuff like that. And catalog is the one which defines all of this, bringing them together. And that is your product offering. So now each box inside here that you see is a business entity. Now let me use a slightly different colored pen. Okay. Yeah. Now this one, product offering term, offering price, or product offering, product catalog, all of them are business entities, which basically defines something which is of interest for a business. Right? And that's why they are called business entities. And now these are all related to each other. All the four that we see here, like product offering, offering price, offering term, and a product catalog, all of them are related to each other. And such related business entities are grouped together. And that is called an aggregate business entity. as a product offering here. Okay, and within this, now, if I do not have a product offering defined, does this product offering price have any meaning? If I do not have a product offering itself, for what am I attaching the price? And for what do I define the terms? Sorry, one second, why is this happening? Just give me a minute. Yeah. So now coming back here, now if I don't have a product offering, the product offering price does not make any sense. Offering term does not make any sense, right? So which essentially means that product offering is the key business entity here. And that is actually called a core business entity, and others, product offering price, offering term, and catalog, which are dependent on the product offerings, are called dependent entities. I'm sure you would have seen these definitions even in the fundamentals course. So product offering is a core business entity here. Others are dependent entities. And all the related business entities are grouped together to make product offering as a ABE here, aggregate business entity. Now, there will be many such aggregate business entities related to the product, and they are all brought together and grouped into a domain, and which is a product domain. Okay, why is that I'm not getting this? Okay, that is a product domain here. Okay, if you notice here, product offering ABE, which we had seen in the previous slide. So similar to this product offering ABE, you will have a product ABE, product test ABE, or product usage ABE, and multiple such ABEs, which are defined earlier. And they are all grouped together into this product domain. Okay. So that is a bottom-up approach. We started from business entities, grouped them together to ABEs, and ABEs are grouped together to domain. But you can also take a top-down approach, which means I will look at the things in the product domain and I will define ABEs here. How do I define ABEs here? One way to do that is I can look at a process framework. I will look at certain activity which is happening, right? And then I will see what is the kind of information that is required for that activity. And then I'll define that as a ABE here. Like, for example, if I look at product with reference to product, what I would say, yep, product definition, development and retirement, right? Could be a process in the process framework. Now, when I say product development, what is that I'm doing? I'm basically, when I'm defining a product, I'm basically defining the specification of that product, right? So if I take a process framework, say that product definition is my process, and for that related ABE would be product specification. If it is not defined here, I can start defining that here. Now, for this product specification, ABE, I may require multiple business entities defined at a lower level. So then I will start decomposing them. So which means in my structure, I have domains that we see here. Then I have ABEs. Why is this? I have ABEs. So domains, ABEs. And within these ABEs, or I can decompose them into other business entities, which can be the business entities here. Okay, this is how my information framework is structured. Okay, is it clear? Okay, clear, right? Okay, so now, yeah, this is what is defined by this. Okay, another example of domains and DBs is shown here, which is market sales domain, within which you will have, as you notice, market sales, this market sales party roles as ABE, market campaign as an ABE. So all these first boxes that you see are ABEs. Okay. Now, all these we call them as level 1 ABEs. Okay. Now, if you notice this market segment, within that ABE, you have multiple small boxes, market segment characteristics, and many more as defined here. So what happens to this is now market segment is one level 1 ABE, and all these small boxes like market segment characteristics will become a level 2 ABE. So you can go on decomposing them to the lower levels depending on the information clarity that we need. That's how we decompose them. Okay, so that's the another way of looking at this definitions of our structure. Okay, then we have domains ABEs and BEs, which we all have clubbed together and brought it into this slide, if you notice. Okay, but some of the things that we need to be clear is that information framework is like a dictionary, and a definition is uniquely located. Like say customer party roles will be in the customer domain related to this. A product ABE will be in the, sorry, is this going back? In the product ABE will be in the product domain. And another thing is no duplication of definition. So if you notice, customer party role is separate and product party roles are separate. Service party roles are separate. They are not duplicated. But if you find certain things where you will have certain common characteristics that can be generalized and defined as a not here actually, it goes into the I mean all of this party roles related stuff goes into the root entities in the common domain. Actually, it should go to party role ABE. Okay, so all of them actually derive from the root entities here. Or if you notice here, the resource performance is happening. So resource performance here. Then you will also find something called service performance here. Okay, for them, you can actually define performance as a common entity in common domain. Similarly, usage that you will see here. It could be in service, it could be in resource, or it could be even in product usage. Okay, so this is how we define them, and they're all documented using a guidebook. And does anyone know what is the guidebook name for information framework? Guidebook GB 922 is about information framework guidebook. Okay, and that is what will provide you all the details about information framework or PID. Okay, GB 922, and this it is as you see here, it's an information framework suite. Means it contains multiple set of documents. So the first set is getting started with the framework with all the concepts, primers, concepts and principles, and user guidelines. The second set is a domain specific addendum documents. I'm sure why is this happening? Okay. As you see here. So for each domain, let's say for a product domain, you will have a separate addendum. For market sales, you will have a separate addendum document. Okay, so that is how you will find the documentation. And what would be there in this addendum document is shown here. So for each domain, ABs, you will have a design approach for that. And what is the rationale for defining that, which enables the model to be understood and extended to a project specific definitions. And it will also have business entity relationship diagrams or ERDs, right? Something that you see here as an example. So such diagrams are also provided in the addendum documents. Okay, so here is an example of one such addendum document contents as a product domain. Okay, so if you notice here in a product domain, it is shown. And there is also ERD diagram of relationship between product, service, resource, all of that. Okay, so this is how you will find the documentations and guidebook on these things. Okay. Yeah, any questions so far? Okay, now what are the different formats in which the information framework is made available by the TM forum? Okay, so you will have information framework available in Excel. You can download that. UML or XMI is also there as a master ODA or MODA. You also have a HTML version which you can download and use it on your systems, maybe laptops or your desktops, uh, even offline. Even when you don't have an internet access, you can use this HTML version if you download it. Okay, so there are multiple formats in which the information framework is made available. Okay, yeah. Any questions? No questions, right? Fine. So moving on to the next set of slides, we will take a look at mapping to other frameworks. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, these frameworks are related to each other. When I say framework, process framework, information framework, application framework, mm, or even open APIs, all of them are related to each other. I'm not sure if you have seen this slide on the ODF course material. Basically, what we say is that we have a common domain structure here. Common domain structure, as you see here, in all these frameworks. So process framework defines the activities and which relates to the information framework in terms of a primary process and secondary process and such stuff. I'm sure you would have seen this definition in the information framework fundamentals course. Are you clear on what is a primary process and what is a secondary process with reference to mapping? Okay. You mentioned it as clear. Okay. Oh, so one quick question in that case. How do you define a primary process? What is a primary process? Okay, it's a process defined in ETOM. Fine. Is that all? Or is there any additional definition? Fine. Okay. Now let me ask a question like this. What is a secondary process? Secondary process also a process defined in ETOM, right? So then how do we differentiate a primary process and a secondary process? We need to have this clarity as a part of our understanding from a very, from a, I would say, the relationship perspective. And also as we go forward with reference to even open APIs, how does it actually help us to understand those API concepts? Okay, so that is why I'm bringing out certain questions to check if the level of understanding. Okay, now, okay, all of us had seen the so okay. Now, since I'm not getting a answer for differentiating a primary process and secondary process, if any one of you can answer that, I will wait for a minute, maybe using a meeting chat, or you can unmute your microphone and provide me the answer. If not, I will give you the difference between them. Shall I discuss the difference? Okay, fine. Let me just give you the details on that. Um, um, okay, now if I take product order or a customer order, right? So if I take that as a ABE, what do you think will be the process that would be related with that? And generally, we say it's a order handling process, right? Yes, order handling is a process which is related to the uh, product order or customer order if you are talking about the order part of it, right? Why do we say that? Will, as part of product order, will I not look at the product specification? I will definitely look at the product specification also, right? The definition part as part of my product ordering. But is that something which I'm defining here as a product specification? No. I'm only looking at the order here, whatever the customer order that is being created, which means as a primary process that will be managing the complete life cycle of the given entity or information. So in this example, if I talk about the order as an entity, the information, that information would be, or a product order information or entity would be completely managed, starting from even creating a product order entry until managing and closing of that particular order. It will be managed by order handling process. And that is how that order handling process becomes a primary process here. However, while managing this, I may refer to some other information or other process also, right? So now the product order information which is there will be looked at or referred to when I generate a bill, right? So what is the order? What should be the kind of a bill that I should be generating for this, right? So that depends on the order. What rate should I apply for this? So I actually refer to this product order information in that case, but I don't create any from a billing process point of view. I do not create any product order entry here, or I do not delete any product order entry there. I only read the information from the product order for billing process, right? So which means that I'm only consuming the information from here. So the secondary processes will consume the information from here, whereas primary process will manage the information completely, manage the complete life cycle. The create, read, update, delete, the CRUD life cycles, right? All of that would be managed by a primary process, and secondary process will only consume the information. Clear? So that is the difference between a primary process and a secondary process. But both of those process comes from ETAM only. Okay, so that is kind of a relationship between process framework and information framework we see. And information framework defines the model information, and that those informations are inherited to a data model called TMF data model or TM forum data models, which are in turn used by open APIs. Okay, so open APIs, I would say, they are also dependent on this or related to the entities defined in the information framework. And ODA components are also defined based on the information framework and what functionality do I provide. So combination of those together is what is ODA components. And of course, how do I expose those components will be defined as part of open APIs. And in fact, these components in turn will define my capabilities. The business capability you would have seen here. This part is a business capability, right? So ODA components will define my business capabilities also. So that is how all these frameworks are related to each other. And but what we see here as a key thing is that the relationship between the process framework and information framework. In this course, basically we are looking at that. And why do we use these mappings? Is to confirm the frameworks basically, and also to define the scopes. So if some change happens to a process, what is the impact on the information or other way around? So the impact analysis. So for all of this, we use the mappings part. Okay. Yeah. So there is mappings information provided as part of documentation. Okay. GB 991 actually provides you these details. Yeah. Okay. GB 991 is mentioned here. Provides you the details. You would have seen a table, something like this in foundations course, fundamentals course, right? So where you will find a primary process, secondary process, all that definition relationship for a given ABA. Okay, that's what you will see. If you're all clear with that, then it's fine. Otherwise, maybe I will take you through GB 991 sometime later, not today. Sometime later, if you want me to take you through that. Okay. So yeah, so here you have one example of product catalog management, Open API. As you see here, this is the Open API for product catalog management. But what are the ABEs used as part of that defined in information framework is what is shown here. Right? So you have, as we discussed, we have product offering, product specification, right? And then, yeah, there's one more important aspect which is which we will cover as part of the modeling patterns, which is like this product that we see here is an instantiation of this specification. right? So that's how we see this relationship. And we'll see that as we go forward with reference to modeling patterns, we'll see that. So this is with reference to product, and similarly, what are the service related ABEs which are related are also shown here, and what is the kind of a relationship and the resource part. And just not that, when it comes to product catalog management, you should also have other things like what are the policies, what are the pricing calculations which will be part of your product offering, and all of that. So all of that would be defined. So anyway, as part of the Open API practitioners course, we will be getting into details of that. But I just wanted to give you a quick understanding of that, so that you have this background information as we go forward. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that completes the first module of the information framework basic concepts, structure, and how these are related to other frameworks and things like that. Okay. Any questions related to these concepts? No questions? Okay. Then we still have about some time. Uh, Now we have about some 12 to 13 minutes. Can you share link GBS? What is that? Can you share link GBS guidebooks? Okay, link to the guidebooks. Okay, great. I can definitely share that. I will do that. But it's very easy to find it on the website. Let me just show you how it can be done. Let me see if I have a. I'll just go to the forum website. Okay, so now where do we find all the informations? Uh, Training and accreditation, you know how to get it, and codes plus frameworks is where you will get these things. Okay, you have all the information here. Whatever that is required, you can get into that here through this, or in fact, we have a very good search engines now. Searching was a very tedious task earlier on the TM Forum website. But since last 1 year, this has been, the searching has been made very easy. Okay, so if you want, you can actually give information framework guidebook and search. Okay, you will get that. See, you have multiple guidebooks related to that. GB 990 API data model and information mapping guidebook, and this one. And now you see here GB 922 getting started with information framework, right? So you can actually click on this GB 922, and that takes you to the information framework side. This one. Okay, getting started with information framework is what we are seeing here, version 24, the latest version. And as I had shown in one of the slide, right? So it is available in multiple different formats. Core frameworks and concepts you can download. Okay, all of this. GB922 primer or user guides, any of these things can be downloaded. Okay, it's very easy to look for this documentation. The searching has been made very easy and good actually on TM Forum website. Okay, good. Someone has already posted the link for this in the chat window. Okay, there is one more question. How can I map SID with ETOM? Yeah, this is what we discussed as of now with reference to SID and ETOM mapping. What exactly that you would like to know with reference to SID and ETOM mapping? Because that was already covered in the information framework fundamentals course. If you go to those study material, you will be able to find that. But if you have any specific question, I can answer that. Otherwise, in general, as I had mentioned here, yeah. So now if you are, okay, I may have to open that. Just hold on. I'll stop sharing now and then open the fundamentals course slides just to give you some inputs on that. Just give me a couple of minutes so that I can open that fundamentals course. Yeah, GB991 is a document which provides information on mapping. That is what I was actually opening as part of the study course material. Can you see this slide which I'm sharing? Okay, so now if you notice here, GB991 provides you the details on mapping part, which you had gone through in the fundamentals course, and I'm just taking you through that. I'll not go through this video. You can actually go through that whenever you want. But yeah, so if you notice here, this is what we have in this document. So you have ABEs here, and you have primary level 2 process and secondary level 2 process. So that is what we have here. And just to give a quick this one, since we have opened this slide. Now, a product as an ABE, if you notice, which is all be defined as part of order handling. Okay, so product is nothing but an instantiation of the product offering that we have, and that will be managed by order handling as a process. Okay, which manages the complete life cycle of this product, starting from creating a product instance and then updates, all of those things, right? But the same product information can be used for problem handling, or even for service configuration and activation, or for billing and collections management, or maybe even for the service quality management. All of these process, they will use product information, but they do not create any product instance. Right? They will only consume the information, and that's why they will be secondary ETOM process. Okay. Now, if you notice here, order handling is a primary ETOM process for product, but order handling can be a secondary ETOM process for product offering, because I will create an order based on what is the offering that's available. So I need to refer to product offering before I create a order. Right? That's why order handling will refer to the product offering. But which process will define the product offering? It is product offer and development and retirement. So this becomes the primary core process for this. So that is how it is defined. Does it provide you? It does not specify the ETOM ID. Yes, it does not specify. It only provides you details to this level. Okay. We do not have any documentation which provides you uh, the specific ETOM process ID. Okay, is that clear? Any other questions? No questions? Fine, I think, yeah. So we are almost at the end of the time allotted. So we will stop for the day. And so tomorrow we will start with the next module. Okay, module 2. I have spent a little more time on the module 1 because having a basic understanding is very important. And that's why I thought let me spend a little more time on this and then move forward as we go to the next stages.